Awesome. So we just finished reading Rumors by Neil Simon, and it's a farce, and obviously with the farce, everything is based on being misconstrued or based off of some type of lie. Like that's how you get to these ridiculous aspects of it. But like, how different would the play be if they did just tell the truth? I mean, if you tell the doctor at the beginning of the play, like we kind of don't have a play, but everything is built upon itself.
We wouldn't have a play.
Right.
Yeah. As we go through it, like, you have a very different play, obviously, but when Glenn and Cassie come in and they don't communicate about the affair that may or may not be going on, when Len and his wife have the idea that May might be getting divorced, but they started that rumor at the club. There's so much area of there's no communication between the couples, and it's like, how would this be so different if there was cleaner lines of communication?
They'd all be divorced. Well, I mean, the sexism alone has got like the wild sexism of Lenny. Just like, Claire needs to leave. Claire needs to bye.
Bye.
But yeah, I mean, that, like, and I don't mean to be glib about that. I really do think that the sexism is rampant throughout the whole thing, and if there were clearer lines of communication.
Oh, my marriage is falling apart, but you gave such a great speech. I forgive you. I love you.
Drink.
Yeah, that's almost Shakespearean in the quick turnaround of the leading lady just sort of being like, I forgive you. Yeah.
Well, and all the help's gone, and who has to open the door immediately? The woman. Like,
Yeah, the fact that everybody was like, who's going to get the phone? Who's going to get the door? Like, Lenny the whole time.
And it was always Chris and Claire.
Yeah.
Like, that's why they ran to the bathroom. They were like, no, we don't want to do this anymore. But I think it's really interesting when you think about it. It's just, if they were all to be honest about what's going on in this setting, as well as in their relationships, I agree. There probably wouldn't be this many marriages left. It would be a lot of divorces happening. And even with what's going on with Myra and, I forgot his name already. Charlie, thank you. Charlie's putting a bullet through his earlobe, I miss, like, if we were able to feel that we can have these kind of conversations without the societal pressure of being perfect or being a certain way. There's a lot of these relationships that probably would stand the test of time, let's say. But, whatever pressures Charlie is feeling, and let's say these rumors that Myra is sleeping with people, or Charlie has a hotel tab and he's sleeping with somebody, whatever it may be, if they could have this honest conversation, would their marriage be healthier, better, stronger? Or would they realize, okay, this isn't for us, let's have a divorce and not work? It's really like, almost like, for me, it seems like a mental health issue. Like, for everyone involved, the friends and everyone who have their own interpersonal relationships, no one's telling the truth, no one's communicating, and we're all kind of just like living this facade of like, we're trying to just live the societal expectations, and we're hoping we can make it through, and we're just going to forgive because of, masochism and all that good stuff. But it's like, if we have these honest conversations, we can have healthy relationships and healthier mental well-being, but that's not really what's happening here.
Audrey, I saw your hand pop up.
Yeah, I was just thinking. That is all. Just kidding. No. Just to play devil's advocate. Also on the bandwagon of, had everyone just been truthful for a moment, we may have found out that this was not a suicide story at all. The anniversary gift was stolen. The car. Maybe somebody tried to break into their house. We have no idea. But yeah, the communication bit, if anyone had tried a little harder, then yes, could have been a very different experience, a very different play.
But didn't
Right.
Charlie
And-
have like a note that he ripped up and threw up and flushed down the toilet?
That also happened, yes.
I mean,
Well-
that's the only reason why I'm like, this might have been a suicidal attempt, because I have a note and it's so personal that I had to rip up and throw out the toilet because I didn't succeed in my suicide and I don't want you to know about it. And
Maybe it was a hit on his wife.
maybe.
Maybe. Why would you buy a car? Well, who knows?
I think that's the point of the play too, is Neil has an opportunity to explain us the truth at the end. Like, he could have Charlie maybe ring the phone or come down and explain everything for the whole truth to unravel. Am I back?
You're back, yeah. But yeah, I think you're right. Like, he did have an opportunity for the truth to unravel and to tell us the real story. And sometimes the fake story is better than the real one. And I think, as the playwright, like, obviously there are probably grains of truth in Lenny's story. I mean, Mira is in the basement, as we find out at the end of the play. So, if you take everything into context of what we've seen and what the play gives us, like, the birthday gift was stolen, meaning someone probably did try to break into the house, meaning Charlie did probably pull out his gun to protect Mira. Mira went to hide in the basement, and Charlie may have accidentally shot himself in the ear. Like, all of these steps are there. Obviously, it's exaggerated because Lenny doesn't have those facts, but I think just kind of like in any good whodunit that you get to see, the information is probably laid out there for us. It just takes looking at it in the right way. Because I do think you guys are right. Like, looking at this as the idea of a suicide play, all of these people seem terribly heartless, which they probably are. But, like, if you look at the information that Neil Simon gives us and throughout the play, like, I think the information is there to tell the true story of what happened between Charlie and Mira. But we get caught up in the comedy, we get caught up in the jokes and all of the insanity that we do kind of forget about what's happening around them.
I don't know. I think I disagree. I think, like,
Okay.
he just, like, I think Neil Simon kind of puts Myra in the basement to add more rumors, to make the audience come up with more rumors at the end. So we never really actually know the truth.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, that's probably, again, he named the play Rumors. The whole reason the farce develops as much as it does is because nobody really gives us any information that we can verify. I mean, every rumor that's started in the club is started by people we don't see on stage, and it might not even be started by them. Amanda?
Except my favorite rumor that Claire started about her own marriage. How bored are you? Like, she felt left out that they were the only couple that didn't have an affair rumor going around, so
Bored.
she started with
Just bored.
It was amazing. She was like, no, it was me. I did it.
what? Like,
But all that does lead me to my next question, and we've kind of touched on this a little bit, about, like, the modern day versions of these people. And Ken, you're right in that this play wasn't that long ago, but even some of the set pieces that we see, the bell, the intercom, the landline, having to contact the doctor's office to talk to the doctor, like, the way that society's advanced, this is kind of a period piece already.
A car phone.
There's a phone attached to the car. Yes. That we have a kind of a period piece already. We have at this party the deputy mayor of New York City and of somebody running for a state senator, and there's no paparazzi around this party. There is no newspapermen covering it. for a 10th anniversary. So it makes you kind of think, like, how would this be different if you were to put it on today? Like, would you make it a period piece, even if it is the late 1980s, versus trying to modernize it?
Well, you would definitely, number one, have to have a second side of the stage just for Dr. Dudley's phone going off in the theater. Because it would repeatedly be going off in the Phantom of the Opera.
And can I just say, that in itself would be amazing in sense of like comedy. Like, just like off on the side on the stage, just like his phone going off. And you're just like, it would be great. It would just be great in a comedy sense. It would be amazing.
Yeah, and such a ha-ha at the audience as well.
Andre.
I just don't think you need to do it as a period piece, because at the core of it, it's the same thing that has always been happening. The only thing that would change is probably we have social media, so we're all a little bit more accessible now, and we all curate our perception, our images through social media now. I don't think, I don't think, I think it might have been a little bit easier now, but the themes of the play are still there. You can do this at any time.
I want to see Cookie's Instagram.
It's good.
Yes.
Like, I know it's good.
Yes, all the recipes.
Kids cooking, all her cooking.
Yes.
All the live streams of her humble brags.
Or I felt like she would just be like, she'd tell you stuff that like you don't need to hear, like give you tips or life hacks about things that.
Oh,
Twitter.
she's like Gwyneth
Twitter.
Paltrow and Goop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cookies. Yeah.
They'd all have Twitter. They'd all have Twitter feeds.
Yeah. But
I mean, the political, Glen's political Twitter is just like writes itself. Like, he just reminded me of Pete Buttigieg, only straight, but like, just like, he just had that straight shooter thing going on.
Well, yeah, putting on this play now, it would be, it's not far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just change car phones to iPhones
and also rumors have been around for
Instagram, right? Yeah, like
rumors have been around for the longest. I mean, old Queen Elizabeth days, people were getting stoned over rumors and executed on rumors, and now we're publicly canceling. So that's kind of like the same thing.
Or one of the biggest rumors of all is Shakespeare.
Wait, explain. What?
One of the biggest rumors is if Shakespeare existed or if it's a pen name for a different person. There's a lot of different theories.
Or pen.
Like as it Shakespeare is a pen name? That's not his.
Yeah, like if it's multiple playwrights that all wrote Shakespeare, like under the name Shakespeare, or just somebody took credit for multiple people's work. If it was a woman who wouldn't have been allowed to write, if it was someone who worked in like the royal family in some regard, where being a playwright would be really looked down upon, because a lot of his historical plays have quite a bit of accuracy for someone that would have just been like
quite a bit.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different theories about like who is Shakespeare.
That's interesting.
And if he even existed as a person.
I haven't even heard of that. That's really interesting.
Or maybe people just don't think one person is capable of that many great things. Because they're a bunch of angry folks who like, can't be a thing.
You can't be that
great
good.
Haters.
Not that good.
Haters. Period. Haters.
Hamlet was totally improv.
Hamlet is a great play.
Love it.
Hamlet is great.
Yeah.
Like anybody.
Hamlet went to Upright Citizens Brigade. Totally down.
I'll fight anybody for Hamlet. Hamlet's
Although to go to Shakespeare if you want to, it definitely has some of that like that farce comedy of people playing other roles and pretending to be other people.
The misunderstandings.
Misunderstandings. There's
The
definitely
rumors.
class. And so it definitely, like, I feel like they like Neil Simon pulled from all of these great farces from like Shakespeare. It even kind of gave me like a murder, like a Knives Out vibe. Like I was getting some of those. I was getting some of like even a Gentleman's Guide to Murder kind of like slapstick British vibe going on with these over the top characters.
Yeah.
You could say it was a comedy of errors. It was really good.
Wah, wah.
Dang it, you beat me to it.
Wah, wah. Wah, wah,
Knew
wah.
someone was gonna.
Sorry.
Oh, Audrey, your friend has moved. Sorry. On the wall.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
I've been keeping watch on him the whole time.
I love it.
I would have been gone already. Like,
I wouldn't be in that room. It wouldn't be me.
Yeah, I've thought about leaving for a while.
You're
Amanda, you know how I feel about reptiles.
Shall we?
Better that I know where it
You'll
is.
eat all the
What is
bugs,
his
though,
name?
so you'll have a
We got
bug
off
free
track.
room.
We got off track.
Ginny would already have a terrarium for it, so.
So actually, the reason why I was late was because I was actually buying another terrarium for my pet.
Do you want one more?
Sure. I'll take them.
Mediterranean for Reptar.
So as we wrap up the discussion portion, while we get sidetracked by Audrey's new roommate.
Reptar.
Reptar.
No, replace me with a lizard.
What are y'all's kind of, we'll just kind of do a quick round of final thoughts from those who participated, from those who watched. Isaiah and Ginny, thank you guys again for coming and being a part of it.
Thanks for having me. It was great.
Yeah, so just like some final thoughts on performing, on reading this, on talking through it, anything else that has come up for y'all?
I have to say that I do love the fast pace of the play because I think it adds to the comedy. You know, obviously this is a farce, as we've already explained, but I think the adding, I think knowing and acknowledging that it's supposed to be fast paced and having that quick wit kind of reactions and response and like side comments like toss aside, like I think adds to the comedy, and it's probably like my most favorite thing about this play. So that's my 2 cents.
The actors would have to be on it. Everybody was on it. Like, I mean, but like on the physical comedy that's in this, like everything just has to move like clockwork. I feel like
Falling on the couch.
Definitely a challenge as a director.
Yeah.
But not a new challenge, as it's the farce style that we've seen, but it's definitely a challenge.
The doorbells, the telephone rings.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Amanda, your telephone rings were on point.
The most beautiful telephone ringing I have ever heard.
The best telephone ring ever.
Also, doorbell.
Doorbell, all of it.
Doorbell for the Tony.
Ding dong.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong.
Yeah, I think you guys are definitely right in that, like, just from a production standpoint with something like this, like, there's so many moving parts with all of these characters that, like, it's one of the first plays that we've read where nobody really leaves stage for that long. So you definitely need to be aware and know what's going on and what's happening all around you. And not just as the director, obviously, but like as the other performers, and knowing like where to be looking and who to be looking for. And just speaking as someone who, as we were reading this, I was laughing to myself the whole time. I can't imagine trying to perform this and doing it with a straight face the whole time.
Has anyone actually performed it? I was part of the backstage for this at my university, but has anyone here actually performed this play?
No.
I've seen it.
Okay. So I was just curiosity.
These sessions too to learn about plays that I have not been able to perform it. Like this is why this is also so cool.
This is actually, I probably should have seen it or read it or something or whatever, but this is the first time I've ever even heard it. So it's hilarious for me. It was
Me too.
Yeah, me too. I'm totally on the same page.
Yeah, I had heard about it before, but I had never read it. So yeah, this is kind of the first time. It was great.
I knew about The Odd Couple, and I should have I recognized the name or the playwright, but it was nice that I love these sessions to expand on pieces that I may not have heard about. I knew about Almost Maine, but I didn't know about Lovesick. I thought that was so cool to be able to learn about these amazing shows, which some people may have performed, some people may have known. We have seen that not everybody has touched on these works, so this has been a fun opportunity, even just to dive into them together.
Castable. Sorry.
Well, I do think it's a good opportunity too with so many of these pieces. It feels different, obviously, when you hear it out loud and when you get to see someone put their own spin on it versus trying to read a play by yourself in your apartment when you don't really get the context for everything. But I think having someone read the stage directions is super important because you can kind of picture where everybody is going to be. Having different voices for the different characters you see is also super important. And yeah, if we can continue to expand people's play knowledge, I personally love having the discussions afterwards where we do get to dive in a little bit deeper to how we feel about a piece or how it reflects in society or how it would be different or not different from our current times. Yeah, so with that being said, thank you guys so much for being a part of this. I super appreciate
Wait. I'm going to tell my story. So speaking about the whole suicide prevention and this is such a good thing, I have on my list Love Life, very much so. At one point, they were reminders, would be just be happy and love life, love what you have. So I have them on my wrist. I was going to, why am I telling so? I was going to an event and I was having dinner with a friend and we always said that we would get tattoos together. So of course I go first to get my tattoos and the guy is wrapping my wrist. And immediately I'm like, oh my God.
In gauze. His wrists are wrapped in gauze.
Yes, they were wrapped in gauze. And I'm going, oh my God. And my friend's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I can't go to the event like this because the event is a suicide prevention event. And now I'm walking in with gauze on my wrist. So I walk into the event,
Audrey,
which was next door to the tattoo parlor, and I walk up, and of course we have to get the little wristband to put on your wrist, and I take out my arms, and the lady's like, "It's okay, just go on in. This is all for you." I didn't know how to feel, but I was happy to be there. It turned out to be a good night, and somebody at the event asked me "Oh, well, what do your tattoos say?" And I was like, "Love life."